Namaste and welcome to Refeel Yoga. Today I want to clarify two of the biggest misconceptions about meditation practice. First, the objective of meditation is not to stop the thoughts. And second, meditation is not something we can practice. Now let me elaborate. A lot of people think that meditation, when we sit down for meditation, the idea is to sit quietly and not think. This is impossible. If you try to make yourself stop thinking, you will suffer like crazy. You sit down and say, don't think, and then thoughts come, and then you start to take the whip. Oh, stop thinking, and then you say, meditation is not for me. I can't do this. The objective of meditation is not to stop the thoughts. When we sit to practice meditation, what we want to do is we want to develop our concentration and our awareness. So there's many different types of meditation, but they all involve two things: concentration and awareness. First of all, we find something to concentrate on, whether it's the breath, a feeling of the energy, a chakra, maybe it's an image, some symbol. We find something to concentrate on, and we fix our concentration on it, and we stay with it. So imagine it's the breath. For this example, I'll use the breath. So we sit and we watch the breath, and we watch the breath, and we watch the breath. And at a certain point, thoughts will come, no doubt. This is where awareness comes in. We become aware of when the thoughts come, and we pull our mind back to this concentration. Watching the breath, watching the breath. Thought comes, we pull it back. Watching the breath, watching the breath. Thought comes, we pull it back. This is the first step. Fixing our concentration on one thing. Now, it doesn't have to be the breath. It can be anything. It can be a spot on the wall, a candle. It can be an image, a symbol. But the number one thing is that we fix our concentration on one thing. We stay concentrated on that one thing, and we become aware of when our concentration is leaving, and we pull the mind back. Now we can go one step further and be aware of the thoughts. So when we're focusing on the breath, and we start to think about, I can't wait till breakfast. We catch it, we say, I'm thinking about breakfast, and you pull it back. And then the mind starts to wander again, and we say I can't believe they did that to me. And we say, wait, I'm thinking about the past, pull it back. And we start to become aware of where our mind has a tendency to go. And through this we can start to learn where our habits are, where our patterns are, where we tend to get stuck. This all becomes a method of self-inquiry, going a bit further than just the concentration with awareness. But so meditation is not about stopping the thoughts. More so, meditation is about being aware of the thoughts, being aware of when we're thinking, and bringing the mind back. And this translates to so many benefits in the life. You know, when we're doing work, for example, and we're in the middle of work and we start to get distracted, we say, wait, I'm thinking about something else. I'm coming back to my work. You know, when we're in a conversation with someone and they're talking, you know how rude it is when you're talking to someone and they're like, When you develop this awareness of the thoughts, awareness of when you're leaving the present moment, you bring it back. So you stay more present with someone. You're more respectful to them and to yourself by staying here and now. Also, through developing this awareness of the thoughts, we can become aware of when our thoughts are starting to lead us somewhere that doesn't serve us, to the future or the past, or to an uncomfortable place, anger or sadness. We can be in the middle of some task or some beautiful experience, and all of a sudden our mind starts to bring up but you know, that person really upset me, and wait a minute, that's not going to serve me. Come back to the present moment. You know, we can be at a beautiful dinner with a loved one, and all of a sudden our mind starts to bring up, what if they're going to leave tomorrow, you know, something like this. Wait a minute, bring it back. So this practice of concentration with awareness teaches us to be in the present moment, and to be aware of when our mind is leaving somewhere that doesn't serve us. Bring it back. The second thing I said is that meditation is not something we can practice. Now this is going to be one that kind of might trigger some people, but let me explain. To understand that meditation is not something we can practice, we need to understand the stages before meditation. So the first stage before meditation is called pratyahara. Pratyahara means withdrawal or control of the senses. That means taking our senses from the outside world and directing them in, controlling them so that they can be focused. You know, if I try to sit for meditation right now and I'm like, oh, the bird, the sunshine, my seat. You know, if my senses are all in the external world, there's no way I'm going to focus on one thing like a mantra or the breath. So the first step is to become in control of your senses. And this is where a lot of hatha yoga and a lot of pranayama helps, because it helps to bring the senses into the body, directing the senses inward. So first, control of the senses. The next step is called dharana. Dharana means concentration. When someone sits to practice meditation, what they're doing is they're practicing dharana. Like I just explained, concentration with awareness is how we get to this state of meditation. But what we literally practice is concentration. The mind fixed on one object, the mind fixed on the breath, the mind fixed on the mantra, the mind fixed on the image. When the mind stays fixed at one point for an extended period of time with concentration and awareness, we automatically slip into a state of meditation known as dhyana, pratyahara, withdrawal or control of the senses, dharana, concentration, dhyana, meditation. So meditation is a state of being that we slip into. It's not a verb, it's not an action, it's not something we do, it's something that comes over us. So it's not something we can practice. It is a state where our mind is fixed at one point for such an extended period that the thought forms stop. The fluctuations of the mind slow down to the point where we feel almost one-pointedness. Now we've all experienced this in life. Some people experience it during running, some people experience it during cleaning, some people experience it during lovemaking. Any point where our mind is fixed at one point for an extended period of time, to the point where there's no distraction, there's no need to call the mind back, we reach this state of dhyana, this state of meditation. But it's not something we can practice. It's like if I say practice bliss. You cannot practice bliss. Bliss is a state of being. It's this beautiful, open, expansive, ecstatic state of being. It's something you can get to. You know, there might be certain things that inspire bliss or help you to find the bliss within yourself, but it's not necessarily something you can practice. Meditation is the same. It's not something we can practice, but it's a state that we slip into after an extended period of concentration with awareness, bringing the mind back, bringing the mind back, bringing the mind back. This is the most essential thing for you to understand before you start a meditation practice. Otherwise, suffering is inevitable. If you're trying to stop the mind, or if you're thinking, I'm not good at meditation because I can't stop the thoughts, you're going to suffer. Trust me. The best advice my teacher ever gave me was there's no such thing as a bad meditation. If you sit down for 1 hour and your mind is blah, 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 and just once you say, I'm thinking, I'm coming back, you've succeeded. The practice is just to develop that awareness. I'm thinking, I'm coming back. Being aware of the thoughts, what they are, where they're leading us, and bringing it back to the point of concentration. There's no such thing as a bad meditation. I wish you a beautiful life, full of awareness, deep meditation, and bliss. Namaste.